You never understood how catastrophic your release habit was until you finally stopped. You assumed lust was just a personal reward, a harmless escape, something men do in secret as a pressure valve. You thought it made you normal. You thought it kept you sane. But when you stopped, when you finally cut off the cycle, when you finally forced yourself to sit alone with that hunger and not satisfy it, you realized the most dangerous truth of all. Lust wasn't harmless. It was the leash. Lust was the chain that kept you docile, predictable, emotionally reactive, spiritually weakened, and permanently held below your true potential. All those years you thought you were choosing pleasure, but pleasure was choosing you. You were not in control. You were being controlled. And Nietzsche warned you generations ago, man does not suffer because he is weak. He suffers because he lacks direction. And every release was a directionless discharge, a waste, a literal throwing away of the internal currency that builds willpower, aggression, intentional focus, and masculine composure. Semen retention forces you to confront the part of yourself you've always been terrified to face. Not the physical darkness, but the psychological one. The primal male impulse that can create nations or destroy them. The instinct that can elevate you into greatness or reduce you into a slave of your flesh. You start to notice something strange once you retain long enough. Your body feels like it's carrying stored voltage. Your eyes feel heavier. Your stare becomes piercing. Your voice begins to slow down because now your words carry weight instead of emotional leakage. Women feel your presence before they even know why they feel it. Men become uneasy standing next to you because instinctually they sense hierarchy. They sense you're not in the same category as them anymore. They sense restraint, and restraint signals power. Because the average man breaks instantly for pleasure. The average man lives for stimulation. The average man has never said no to his own urges, not even once. The retained man is feared because he is unpredictable. You don't feed your impulse, you direct it. You don't react to temptation, you evaluate it. You don't dissolve under pressure, you store it as internal ammunition. This is where erotic energy stops being a distraction and becomes leverage. Nietzsche called this sublimation, not denying instinct, but transforming it into higher output. Your libido becomes directional. Your desire becomes fuel. Your lust becomes a weapon of concentrated psychic voltage. Most men burn their erotic energy to escape life. You store yours to conquer it. Think about how many areas of your life were stagnated because you were constantly releasing your energy into nothingness. Think about how much drive you lacked. Think about how mentally foggy you always were. Think about how easily you got irritated, stressed, restless, anxious. Think about how your discipline collapsed as soon as temptation entered the room. All of that wasn't because you were weak as a soul. It was because your soul was being starved of the very power that gives a man clarity. Sexual energy is masculine life force. It is biological electricity. It is the internal explosive potential that evolution designed to create life itself. Yet most men waste it like it means nothing. They literally throw away their kingdom-building material just to feel a moment of relief. That is the mindset of peasants, not conquerors. Semen retention turns you back into a conqueror. Because when you stop leaking energy downward, that energy automatically rises upward, into your vision, into your ambition, into your silence, into your posture, into your aura, into your focus. And this is why this path isn't popular, because the weak want shortcuts, not ascension. Pleasure is cheap. Willpower is not. Nietzsche said a man must be a disciplined beast, not a polite victim. He must learn to become sculptor and hammer and stone all at once, reshaping himself ruthlessly. This is what retention forces. You stop living soft. You stop letting porn dictate your dopamine. You stop letting temptation define your day. This path is not about avoiding sex. This path is about becoming so sovereign over your sexual impulse that sex becomes a choice, not a compulsion. So when you walk into rooms now, your silence feels like pressure. When you speak now, your tone has a grounded, calm violence. When you look into a person's eyes, they feel a force behind your pupils that they can't articulate. You are becoming a man who is not wasting his life force. And men who do not waste their life force eventually become men other people orbit around, because power always becomes gravitational. In the alchemy of lust, you'll be taken deep into the ancient and forgotten discipline of sexual transmutation, a principle once reserved for monks, warriors, kings, and creators. Now that you've learned how to store the power, the next stage is learning how to direct it. Semen retention alone elevates your internal voltage. But when you combine that restrained erotic charge with Dark Triad psychological architecture, you stop living like a man, and you begin operating like a force of nature. You become the kind of man other men study silently because they can't explain you. You become the kind of man women feel before they even process you. Erotic power is not about sex. It's about control. It's about leverage. It's about hierarchy. It's about understanding that people are driven by invisible forces: desire, fear, status hunger, insecurity, emotional weakness, validation craving, and unprocessed shame. The man who has mastered retention sees all of these openings clearly, like cracks in stone just waiting to be pressed. This is the point where Machiavellian strategy becomes natural to you. You stop reacting emotionally and begin positioning yourself psychologically. You start anticipating outcomes instead of hoping for them. You understand that every interaction is a power dynamic, and the one who feels least controlled by pleasure always holds the advantage. If you want to go deeper into mastering this, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to remain focused crusader. Turn on the bell as well, so you are notified whenever we post. YouTube loves to suppress semen retention videos for obvious reasons. Most men use lust as a temporary high. The Dark Triad male uses lust as currency. He stays detached. He never needs to be wanted. And this unnerves women deeply. Because when a woman cannot move you sexually, she becomes mentally obsessed, trying to figure out where your leverage comes from. This is pure narcissistic value, not the fragile narcissism that needs attention, but the cold narcissistic self-certainty that Nietzsche respected, the Übermensch self-worship that doesn't care who approves. The retained Dark Triad male doesn't chase validation. Validation is a symptom of his existence. He doesn't crave attention. Attention becomes attracted to his resistance. Psychopathy in this context is not violence. It is emotional unshakability. It is the ability to walk away mid-temptation without internal chaos. It is the ability to remain calm while others dissolve into impulse. Women are drawn to this like gravity, not because you're nice or charming, but because your restraint communicates dominance. And dominance is the highest erotic signal. You become a psychological disruptor. You walk into a room and instantly the dynamic shifts, because nobody can predict you. You create mystery without trying. You create fear without threat. You create respect without speaking. And Nietzsche understood this state, because he understood that power is not obtained through aggression. Power is obtained through internal sovereignty. The world bends around the man who is not controlled by the same forces that weaken everyone else. And every day you retain, you widen the gap between you and them. Every day you restrain the urge, you increase the pressure. Every day you walk away from indulgence, you forge a deeper hunger, not for women, but for conquest, legacy, elevation, and dominion over your own evolution. And here is the final truth. The world honors men who can't be corrupted by pleasure, because those men are extremely rare. So understand this: semen retention is the internal engine. Dark Triad psychology is the external steering wheel. Together, they create a man who isn't simply sexually disciplined, but strategically superior. You are becoming a man who cannot be manipulated by beauty, seduction, validation, attention, or flattery. You are becoming a man who can walk through temptation like he's walking through fog, untouched. And when a man cannot be moved by temptation, he becomes the one who moves the world. That is the Nietzschean erotic power. That is the dark advantage. You don't deny lust because you fear it. You restrain lust so you can weaponize it. Thus remember, we are Indecepta. You're not lazy, you're hijacked. Every scroll designed to keep you docile, addicted, and distracted. Dopamine warfare, reclaiming the mind. This isn't just about quitting porn or deleting apps. This is about taking back command of your nervous system, your focus, your fire. The Crusaders Bundle. 4 ruthless lessons. 1 unbreakable code. For a limited time, claim all 4 Indecepta audiobooks for the price of 3. Step inside the private archive of discipline, power, and psychological warfare, where lust is conquered, the mind is weaponized, and legacy is forged. Don't just listen. Arm yourself. Indeceptions.com